I'm just going to show you guys something in the resources, and I'm going to tell you a story. And it's not really story time, but it's a good business story. If you're a platinum coach, you have Master Ad Library, and this is now live. Sorted some bugs out, so it's all here. It's a lot of stuff here, and I haven't checked them all. I'm just assuming they are all now correct, but let's say you go into advertising. We've got all these ads here. So things are moving there. I'm pretty excited about that. And, accountant, things like that. All right. So that's a good update. We've got a few other things coming. Let me see one. There was one that William did. Actually, let me choose a different one. I'll have a look here. Let's just choose one of these. Yeah, right now, there's some problems where I think, where was it? This is a good example. Some of these Jumpstart 12s, they have 2 places to put numbers in. What we were doing before, we'd put 5% in there, and then we'd push submit, and it'd go, oh, I forgot to put a 0. So now we're defaulting everything to 0. And so if you don't do anything else, you put one number in, we're going to be able to click submit. Next thing William's going to work on is if you put something in there like this, and then you have a conversation, you go away and you work on something else, we're going to see if this will save automatically. So I guess some people have a hard time clicking submit. They forget, things come up, conversations, all those things. Okay, so that's a couple little changes. We got Kelvin has started yesterday, or is working with him on a new project today. It's probably a 5-month project. I can't spill the beans on it yet, but you guys are going to love it. And then we're going to figure out what we're going to do with William on the next project. So, hey, so quick story. This is kind of fun. It's something about pricing, and maybe it's a good time to raise prices. And we have in here how you can raise prices, increase prices here. But okay, but this is a good example of why you would want to keep your ears open on things that happen, and you remember things, take notes. And you come back years later and you go, oh, well, that's where it applies. So when I was 19, I moved to a new city and I met a friend, and his dad was a pastor of a church. And they had this building church on a very prime lot. They tried to sell it for $500,000 at the time. They couldn't get a buyer. So instead of lowering the price, the dad, who's the pastor, put up the price to $750,000, and it sold right away. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So, we are cleaning out our house and we're selling everything. And I had a treadmill here. I kind of work on a desk treadmill. Had it up for $250. It had some interest, and then no one bought it. And I put it down to 200, and then I got nothing. So I put it back to 250, and on Facebook, my phone's like ding, 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 ding. And I had a buyer in 30 minutes. Thought, okay, that's interesting. So now I got my SUV on. It's a little right-hand drive Mitsubishi Pajero EO. Put it up for $8,850. Had a little interest, but no buyers. Put it down to $8,250. So I got an offer for $6,500. Said no, thank you. Put it down to $7,850. No one. Put it down to $6,950. I got an offer for $4,000. I'm like, that's enough. We're done. Pulled the ad, relisted the ad, exactly the same pictures, same copy at $9,250. And the first time I've got people saying, hey, we want to see this. They're coming out at 4 o'clock. So I've got a hard stop in 45 minutes. And so that little emergency was my wife went out with a friend, and she's just about to drive my car away. And I'm like, don't take that car. That's my car. We're going to sell it. So a little story. All right, let's see who else is open here. Who's got a question? Jonathan Kraus.
Patrick.
There you are. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
What a day. What a day. Yeah, it's good. It's my head's in all different directions.
Well, congratulations on the relocation. Hopefully that goes well.
Thank you.
And then I had a question. If you could scroll down to the bottom of your screen here to the right.
Oh, okay.
No, on the right, to where it says the success gauge.
Yeah.
I was doing a couple dry runs, and it says that the profit margin has to be more than zero. And even when I toggled the numbers and I increased it, it didn't give me an output. Like the screen just kept flashing, and it never converted to any output.
Okay. Could be several reasons, one of which it just could be a glitch. The other thing which often happens is if the revenue of the company you're assessing is low
Yeah.
compared to your coaching fee, or the ROI is too low compared to your coaching fee, you're going to get like a non-number. So let's just have a look here. We got a $500,000 business. We've got 62,000 impact. Let's imagine I only got this company 2.5% interest. I'm going to submit that. So now the only thing we've got here, oh, it should refresh. That's another glitch that we're going to go after.
See, that's right there is what I was getting. That.
You're getting that. Okay. You're getting that spinning circle.
Yeah, and it was just pulsing. But I think you touched on it where you said the ROI is lower than the coaching fee. So it just might be something where I need to mess with the numbers a little bit more. But thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the couple things William taught me today, and I got to remember this, is don't run on this page. I had a problem, and he goes, turn off your ad blocker for this page, for this site, app.profitaccelerationsoftware.com. So here we've got, okay, this scenario, we're getting a 46% ROI, which of course is not appropriate. Success questionnaire. Do you have the capacity? Sure. Okay, we're going to answer everything positive. Do you have established policies and procedures? No. I mean, positive being that's kind of business we want. We welcome changes. We are coachable, and we're hungry.
Yeah.
So let's submit that.
Yeah.
Oh, let's say great. Okay. So let's see if we change one thing here. It's down to poor right away. And it could be a combination of the money we get them and our coaching fees and different things.
So
yeah.
So then once I put the information in there and then I answer this questionnaire, then the output is just going to be over to the right. So I just probably need to toggle the numbers a little bit and adjust it and play with it.
Yeah, I would do that and try and do it even before you meet them. But another thing about this tool, it's really a sales tool. And it allows you to figure out who this person is, just a couple extra questions. So like for question this one, number one, do you have the capacity to handle? Like I've gone into companies and doing an assessment before, a breakthrough assessment, 45 minutes, and they go, no, I'm full. Like I don't want any more customers. I'm thinking, why am I here? Right. Yeah. So you want to find that out ahead of time, or one of the things you want to find out before you try and sign them up. Do you have policies and procedures? Now, I want someone who doesn't have them because I know there's a great advantage in getting someone who doesn't have these yet, and I can help them create them. And that's what I like. And that's how I've designed the software in that. But maybe you want someone who does. So it might give you a different output there. You don't want someone who's generally skeptical of changes or resist changes. These are not the kind of clients you want. They're hard to work with. Are you coachable? Yes or no? That's, of course, you want someone who's yes, and you want someone who's hungry. As I've said before, life is short, and you don't want to work with idiots or problems. You don't want someone who's just going to resist everything you suggest. You want to be able to blow on this company, and they're going to grow. So that's kind of what we're looking for. They're either setups or screw ups, and you're looking for the setups. That's how I go with that.
Are you familiar with the term malingering?
Malingering?
Yes.
In what context?
In the context of somebody is telling themselves or convincing them of a truth that isn't real, right? Like they're like somebody's telling themselves that they're coachable, but in reality, like everything else is lining up is like, well, you're actually a dumpster fire. But okay. If you think you're coachable, that's great. But I mean, I think that's just kind of where the nuance of being a skilled coach or an advisor comes in, because you're gonna, at this point, you would probably have enough conversations that you know if they're sugarcoating something, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Let's see who else is hanging around here. All right, that was Jonathan. Well, I don't have any other questions, so what are we going to do? I can't tell a joke anymore. I'm wondering what's going to happen. We'll have a short call, that's for sure. It's just 20 minutes. Last chance, guys, then. Like, we're not going to hang around here, and I got nothing else to show you here today. So any questions? Put your hand up. Anything you want to run through, even if you're brand new to the game, you say, hey, Pat, show me something here. I'm happy to show it to you. So Mark Reed. Okay, Mark, the brave man. There he is.
Can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Great. So you guilted me into it. My question is, I'm one of these guys that's I've been simmering for a long time as a coach and not really engaging yet, but I'm on the cusp of doing that, albeit, with COVID at the end of the year. But I guess my question specifically here is, in using the PASS DAS software, which I'm still new to, admittedly, is there a good guide on what we should show our clients and what we shouldn't share with our clients? And I've got a sense of that after listening to the other webinars and the guidance and comments on that. But I was wondering if you could reflect, if there's not a guide that's out there, at least go over the things that definitely do not show the clients, at least early on. Is there any guidance you can provide in that?
Yeah, sure. We can talk through a few of those things. Let's say what I would do, set up your company and your assessment before you have that meeting. So you want to do that, and think about, this is an extra thing you want to do. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. You want to name your company, or you name your assessment really well. So because I'm going through, like, which is this, and so if you name your assessment by the company name, so it could be XYZ Daycare, December 3rd, Jumpstart 12, something like that. That'd be a great name for an assessment, and you can associate it with a company very quickly. When you're in here, sorry, go ahead.
No, I agreed.
Okay. The other thing you want to do is go into your ROI right away and set your monthly cost of coaching in here for what you want it to be. I think it defaults at $997, but if you want to have $1997 in there as your default, just put it in there right away. So then you're not seen raising it on the screen. So I would get very comfortable screen sharing and screen freezing. I'm in GoToMeeting here. I think we can do this in Zoom as well. So some things you want to look at as you're going through, you're showing this screen, the summary screen, and you let them see this, and you freeze it on this screen. And so then you can go off and you can start asking questions. So you might say, hey, Joe, let's talk about content marketing. Content marketing is this type of marketing, and just kind of read it very casually, like you know what you're talking about.
Sure.
I created this for me because I cannot think on the spot, like to save a dime, whatever. I just need something to read, but I'm pretty good at reading, so at least I can do that. So then you're like, hey, Joe, let me ask you, do you have a content marketing strategy that's clearly documented? Is like, oh, no, I don't. Well, do you have different content for each stage of the buyer's journey? Joe, do you know what that is? He goes, I've never heard of the buyer's journey. Well, you got buyer's journey is a map that helps you. So you just kind of read through it, right? You sound real casual, or it sounds like you're knowledgeable and you're an expert. And he's like, let me ask you, Joe, businesses that publish content on a regular basis. So you give him this question and you enter the number in there and you click submit. And then what you could do is go to results. And at the results, you can unfreeze your screen and say, Joe, look at this. This is the impact from this alone. That's amazing. I say, Joe, let's go to our summary screen and see the overall impact. And you take them there and you show them this overall impact and you walk through this. All right, so then you're sitting there and you just freeze the screen again. You go to the next one on the list, wherever you think is appropriate. And your little spidey senses, as Carl says, it might be saying, hey, let's talk about increased prices or market dominating position. You don't have to do it in order. Then you go and you find your breakthroughs. Then you come back here, you unfreeze your screen, and you let them see the increase. One thing I'd stay away from, I mean, you don't need meeting notes right now. That's later. You don't need these because you're not running a meeting. It's just too much. I would not show them reports. Now let me find the report that goes with the jump start. Here we go. I would not show them this report and say, look, it was automatically created for you. I mean, that really devalues it. I would not show them this. I would say, let me go away and create a report for you. Let's meet up again next week. I'm going to build this whole report for you and whatever. So you can script that. We've talked about this on different calls before. You can go and find those from the index of the calls. So implementation calendar at this point it's fine. It's really a sales tool at this point. You don't have to talk about the answers in the back of the book here. That are these links on the side here. You don't have to show those. If you're in ROI, that's cool. You can show this. You show your ROI from, scroll a little bit there. You could show the coaching on profits, or you could show it on revenue, whichever you prefer. And then the one thing you don't want to show then is your contingency fee. I would not show this. This is all hypothetical. But when you first come into the screen, like this will be unchecked, this will be blank there, and the 5 will not be there. So if you're thinking, oh, I wonder what this would look like if I just lowered my fee like he's resisting 1997. Okay, so what you do is freeze your screen. You go, okay, you freeze your screen, then you come back and go, okay, 997, you check the box, you put 10%, whatever it's gonna be, check your chart, and you go, okay, I'm still gonna make $30,000, $42,000, that's fine. Okay, you can come back here, unfreeze your screen and say, hey, Joe, look at this. What if we did this? What if I lowered my fee to $997 and I just took 5% of your additional revenue I helped you create? Like, you already made $500,000 on your own. I don't want any piece of that. I'll just take 5% of the increase. This will be a way to get you started, but it rewards me for my, really helping you to make an increase, and it really helps me invest in what you're doing. Try and close it that way. So yeah, that's a little bit of what I would do.
That's
strategy.
Great. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Strategies, these are sales tools. If they want to get an idea of what this would look like, what kind of marketing you want to show them, you could show them these, the turnkeys there. So, but yeah, the goal is just get out and practice with it. And, if you don't have someone in your home, if you have someone that you can, find someone on the Facebook group or something and say, hey, anyone want to practice the software together? We'll just set up a time and I'll assess your business, even your coaching business, and you come and assess my coaching business, and we'll try and close each other on a deal and have fun with it. We'll take an hour and a half, 45 minutes each. Put it out there. You'll probably have 5 or 10 or 15 different people saying, yeah, let's practice. You might actually start a trend.
Actually, I have a business partner for my previous ongoing consulting business that he's aware of what I'm doing with this coaching effort, and he's going to let me show him, and that will be a chance for me to gain more experience and go through all this with him. So he'll be a good murder board on that, and he's open to the possibility of jumping in and becoming my partner in the coaching business as well, but
Nice.
That's to be determined.
Nice, yeah, good. Well, I just encourage you to practice and encourage everyone on the call to practice. And we've told this story probably a dozen times, but You know, before Adrian got on stage the first time for this one company, they put him in a room for 2 weeks. He practiced his script for 2 weeks. And before I ever stood on stage to deliver an event, I practiced each module. It's a 2-day event. I practiced each module about 20 to 30 times each. You know, I just had people critique me, and I thought I'd rather be embarrassed in front of my friends and my staff than in front of the public. So let's make sure this is amazing. And if you get people who aren't afraid to critique you, and you give them that permission to critique you, they are going to, you know, be honest with you, and you'll really improve. So
Yeah, I agree. Actually, we critique each other all the time, and we don't hesitate when we say, hey, we should have done this, or Mark, you should have done that, or you might consider doing this next time. And it's very productive, and we're always positive about it. Even when we make negative comments, it's always framed in, well, let's use this opportunity for improvement.
good. There you go.
Thank
That's
you.
great. Yeah, you're welcome. Put you on mute there. We're going to scroll up the board. I think Gregory Woolbright. Gregory, I think you're live. Just have to unmute. There he is.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
I can. How are
Okay,
you today?
perfect. I'm doing good, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Good.
My question is, you know, I heard you mention freeze the screen, and that was actually my question, because if you're doing this like over like Zoom, then they would see the questions.
Yes.
So like what software? I guess I don't know software that freezes screens.
Okay. So, well, on GoToMeeting, they have, you just pause the screen. And so there's a little pause button, like a play button with a pause button. I could do that. I think
Okay.
in Zoom you can. I don't usually use it in Zoom. Maybe I'll just pull it up, and I'd have to start a meeting, but that'd be kind of weird. We're going to have 2 meetings at the same time. So let's see what happens. And maybe someone else has more experience than I do, that they can just provide some feedback there. But I mean, a good way to do this as well is Google it and see what's out there. So let's see what happens here. Share screen. And if I'm sharing my screen, can I pause it? I can't hear. Oh, wait. Yeah, I can. It says pause share. Down. It's not showing on what you're looking at, but there's a stop share, and there's also a pause share.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
I guess I never knew that. That's kind of cool. So
yeah.
when you click pause share, you're able to still communicate?
Oh, absolutely. I think so.
Okay.
You're just yeah, you're sharing your screen, and then you pause it. So I think it pauses on that screen, and that's all they see. And you guys can do stuff in the background. So
Interesting.
learning to do this, you got to be so careful, because and you've got to have your brain switched on, because you can't go in like automatic mode and you start pulling up Facebook and do things like that. And I did that once, like, I don't know, 6, 8 months ago, and I started doing an email, and Carl or Adrian are like, hey, Pat, we can see your screen. I'm like, oh, crap.
All right. That's
So,
well, that's awesome. That truly is awesome. And because I do have Zoom, and the GoToMeeting, is that different than the GoToWebinar that I'm looking at now that you're using?
it's the same company. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the subscription is on that, but Zoom is getting more and more powerful, and
Sure.
and I think the training around it, it's more a robust system, it seems like, and the training around it, and it's just global. Everyone around the world's using Zoom now. Like, I connect with people in Africa already, you know, people across whatever, 20 different countries in Africa, and they're
Wow.
all on Zoom. No one's using GoToMeeting there.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I wish I'd bought stock in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was you, or I don't know, maybe Adrian. I heard somewhere they had like, I think like 10 million customers, and then just since COVID, they grew to over 400 million.
I'm not sure the numbers. I knew their stock went up 287%, I think, in 7 months. And
Jeez.
yeah,
Jeez.
We were asleep on that one because we could have asked the question. So lockdown's coming, who's going to benefit? And you'd like, okay, online retailers, yes. Online communication, yes. So
Yeah,
no, we were,
absolutely.
so good. Any other questions?
No, I think I got it. Like I said, I'm brand new. Started with you guys here about a month ago, but I have several appointments lined up here this next
Nice.
week, and so I've never used Zoom before. Never used the profit acceleration software. I guess I did have one question for you. Last night, you guys were talking you brought up on the Ask the Expert call. What was that? I'm sorry. Oh, Coach for or the Prep site, the Prep.
Yeah.
It was the Coach for Profit Prep.
Yep.
And so you mentioned that, you know, I don't know if I have the new site, but I just got started, like I said, with you guys here in the last 6 weeks, but I don't have it on my website, and so and I checked both websites, the No BS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just shoot an email to support@noresults-no-fee, and they'll help you out. It's kind of out of my jurisdiction here. I try and stay inside my lane.
Gotcha. Well, I guess the follow-up question to that, and that's the reason why I brought it up, is so when I'm actually doing it with the customer, the profit acceleration. So like on the Coach for Profit, I don't know if it's a big deal that at the bottom it says no results, no fee. So that would be, because you mentioned that we could send them to this site, and so that was kind of my question is should I send people to this site in the meantime while I don't have mine, or is that something they can fix pretty quickly?
I'm not sure if everyone's got this or anyone's got the /prep, because this should happen on your site. But shoot an email to support about that, and you could just say, look, my site's being built, it's getting updated, but let me send you over to our consortium or our partner site or something, and
Okay.
watch this video. You could do that. Now, have a look here in the resources. I don't know if I have this in resources. This whole project was a management conundrum, trying to put this together and make sure everything gets moved over. Was it, I'm not sure where it was. Done for you presentations. Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Hey, maybe I'm on a conference call.
Anyway, okay, so yeah, I just say shoot support an email, see what happened, because it needs to get up because it's done. All right, sounds good. Greg, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I cut out there for a second. I apologize.
Okay. All right, any other questions?
No, I think that's it. The profit acceleration software, because I know it'll say that on the screen. Is that pretty generic? I guess I've never typed it into Google, but no other coaching businesses are using, or I guess we're not allowed to promote that. I'm assuming. Is that right?
What do you mean promote?
I guess what I mean is, so if I'm doing a Zoom call on the screen with a client, and I don't know, they type in profit acceleration software themselves in Google.
Yeah.
Are there is that ranked for like millions of coaches, or is it just kind of just no results, no fee there?
Well, you can check it out. I think almost all of it, and on purpose, is going back to LPW. So just say, look,
okay.
you know, I'm just part of a group of coaches. We share resources. One of these is a profit acceleration software that, you know, I'm the only guy in the area that's licensed to use it.
Sweet. Yeah, perfect. No, that works. Yeah, because that was my concern, is not necessarily you guys. It's just I didn't know if, you know, all of the other coaches would all show up in Google at the same time when you type it in.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Carl's trying to be really purposeful about saying, hey, we need this to point to us, obviously, because we're trying to sign up coaches as well. So I hear you.
Well, thank
Good.
you, man. That's all I had for you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Gregory. Appreciate it. I'll put you on mute. I think, let me just scan the hands here. And I'm going to put all those hands down. And okay, John has a question. Can you show me how to navigate between Jumpstart 12 and Jumpstart 40? Yeah, John, we'll take that question first. So you're here on your dashboard, and then you're going to create a new assessment. And of course, you'll select a company, one of your companies you set up, and you'll select a module set. Now, you won't have these two blue ones, the free ones. You're going to have 3 of these: the Jumpstart 12 to close a sale, Jumpstart 40 to close a sale or perform a faster full assessment, and the Deep Dive 40. So you'll click on one of those. If you've purchased the digital acceleration software separately, you'll have those as well. So you click on that, and then I just use Australian dollars every time because it's the same dollar symbol if you're using dollars, and you give it a name, and then that creates that for you. So once you come back in your list, if you've named it well, you'll know here's a digital Jumpstart, digital breakthrough 40. You got different names in there: breakthrough 40 test, Jumpstart 40, things like that. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see, I know they had another one. You go to that. Do you find a lot of business owners who don't implement the actions? Yeah. Okay, so let's have this. John, can I open you up here and let's just have this conversation, because this is a challenge. See if I think you should be live there, John. If you're there. Yourself, there you are. John, you there? Can't hear you. Could be your mic. It says you're self-muted. Okay, so I'll assume that you're not there or you're shy, and we're going to answer that question there. I'll leave your mic open just in case you come around. But do you have a lot of business owners who don't implement the actions? How do you help them to take action? The problem we have here, it's not just the business owners, it's also the coaches who don't implement what they know they should be doing. So I think it's a universal problem. I have a hard time motivating my son, my oldest son, to do anything. He's externally motivated, and short of paying him to go and do something, he doesn't, just get up and volunteer. He does, it's hard for him to do things like that. My other 2 kids are internally motivated, and they just want to be excellent in everything all the time. And they're just built differently, and that's totally okay. So how do we help business owners who can't implement? That's a tough one. It'd be nice to know ahead of time if we could find out if they could, if these are people who implement. Sometimes you have to just hold them by the hand and give them checklists to do, and you're on them. And other times you're going to find that they just fall down and fail, and you can't keep them very long. So maybe if someone has a good insight into how to help them implement, you could raise your hand and give that suggestion. We'll open you up there. How do you help them take action? I give them action steps to take. And just say, look, here's what you're responsible for this week. You need to do that. If they're not going to do it, I mean, why do you have them as a client? Why are you working with them? So yeah, maybe we'll see what happens there. I see your computer's having issues then. So let me see if anyone else has their hand up. They want to contribute to that. It could be just a problem for many of us. And that's one reason that I'm a little bit hesitant to do a contingency agreement unless I know they can really implement. Because the first time I got into consulting, I had 2 clients. I'm a fool because I can't learn after once, but after the second time I learned my lesson. And I said, okay, let's do a contingency as well. And we tried to get changes to their website, and we took 6 months, and they just couldn't get a hold of their website developer. It was an absolute disaster, and like that was the end of that. So you got to know they can take action. If you're working in a company, bigger company, say who's the responsible person for this project. We look at the steps to implement. I'm going to go to, let's see here, XYZ Daycare. We're going to go into implementation. We'll look at implementation path. Is it down here? Yeah, determine your method of implementation. Good place to start actually to answer that question. How will you do this? Every implementation initiative needs the following dimensions: a responsible person who will take ownership of the implementation sequence. Clear understanding of rewards and consequences for that responsible person should they either implement or fail to implement. Understanding the budget, the timeline, a feedback loop, and then questions: what challenges stand in your way? What can you do to overcome these? What are you willing to commit to? And there's some helps there, some ideas. So I guess I could have gone there first, but it wasn't at the top of my reticular activator. So that stuck with that. Hopefully that helps. A question from Pierre. I find using codes and generic assessment names better with separate records kept in the sheet for confidentiality when showing the software to people, so other customers' names don't show up. Great idea, Pierre. You could do that. Yeah, and so having a code or having a, let's just go over there. What I would do, Pierre, as well, is I wouldn't even show the screen when I come to this. I would set this up ahead of time. And then what you could do is, let's say I've set it up for XYZ Daycare. You're not going to show all the other names. And when I share my screen with them, we are here already, and they don't see the other people's names. But I guess we've still got results analysis out here. So in results analysis, we got company 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've changed the names for that reason. So I guess you're right. So instead of saying XYZ Daycare, you could say XYZ DC, December 4th. Just put an initial in there, and that would protect it probably well enough. Good point, though. All right, so I don't see any other questions. So, hey, we're done pretty well. We're at 47 minutes, and we're still rolling here. So last chance, guys. I see Linda in there twice. Maybe it's her clone. Okay, last chance for questions. Just a reminder then, we don't have to go the full hour. That's totally fine. We'll be back on Tuesday. I'll be coming in from a friend's house on Tuesday. Hopefully they have internet, and I'll be around Kelowna another 7 days, and then we're heading south. So you can always write a question to pas@noresults-nofee.com, or you can go into support is another good place. Put your details in there. If it's a technical question, put it there. I think it's going to go to William first anyway, and William, if it's non-technical, he just forwards it to me. So if you see me replying from PAS, you might see William's picture on there, and just because we're sharing that duty. So you could just do that and have a question here. Just put it in there, type your question. That'll come into me, or just write pas@noresults-nofee.com. So, all right, guys. Gregory has another question. Looks like, Gregory, you're live.
Yeah, I'm just curious, I guess, on the jump start when you're doing that with a client. How long do you normally take? I guess.
Well, you're going to say it's going to take 45 minutes, but say, look, book 90 because
Okay.
no doubt you're going to have some questions. And then you've got 45 minutes to find them a solution, and you want to respect their time. So usually at 45 minutes or at about 30 minutes, even 35 minutes, you want to leave time to close. So what I do is I want to find breakthroughs for them and to make sure I can find those for them and give them the results that they want in that time. You're going to find probably 3 areas. It's not always that easy. Let me just be honest there. You've got these 12 in front of you. And sometimes they have a great market dominating position and it really surprises you, like, oh my gosh, I thought I'd find something there. And you go to cut costs and it's like, no, we're really running a tight ship. We're an accounting firm, whatever. It's like, okay, what else are we going to do? And you start thinking, oh, what about, just let me ask some questions around leads or alliances and joint ventures. And, you might have to hunt around, but you find 3 or 4 areas that find you the breakthroughs. I think what you'll find is most people have never had anyone ask them questions of this quality before. And there's always a high degree of respect for you for asking the questions. So if you can come out of there, you found them breakthroughs, and you go into the close, you're doing pretty well. I think in 45 minutes, try and wrap it up in that time. And especially if you're trying to book, people in hour meetings back to back or 90-minute meetings. So you give yourself a little bit of leeway there, but that's what I would do.
No, that's perfect. And so you're initially, so I know you're saying like 45 minutes as far as, we can find you that in 45 minutes, but I guess how are you booking it for 90?
Well, you can do that with your time trade or your calendar or whatever. You just book a 40,
Okay.
but then I think you're allowed to book margin around it. So you set the rules in your calendar, in your time trade calendar, whatever calendar system you're using, and just block off the next time.
Perfect. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you again, Patrick.
Yeah, you're so welcome. It's a lot of fun. It's more fun with Carl, but it's still a lot of fun hanging out with you guys, and wish we just open up all the lines and everyone yell at the same time, but we know that doesn't work. So anyway, wish you guys all the best. Hope you have a great weekend. I know we're in December and people tend to go slow, but also remember that people are desperate and they need help and they're wondering how they're going to get through the season. And if you can come alongside people and just offer hope, I mean, that's our role as a coach, just offer hope. And again, there's a message put out there like 9 months ago or something when COVID first, hit. And I think we summarized it maybe on an Ask the Expert call. I go back and look, and but it was just something around like, I've been sitting around and I just realized that, I've got all these great solutions, and it would really be wrong of me to not reach out to you and just see if you needed some help. And look, I'd love to meet with you for 45 minutes, see if I can just help your business by helping you. There's no cost to it. If you're struggling a little bit, need some help going into the holidays, just reach out. Here's my calendar link, something like that. Just get out there for people and help people, and then of course you might be able to close some clients that way. And hopefully you've got your criteria of the type of clients you'll accept. You might run out and do that, and you've got clients who are in multi-level marketing and making 20 grand a year, and you don't want those kind of people, unless it's your wife's brother or sister or your husband's sister who's desperate, and then you've got to help them because they're family. So anyway, closing advice, admonition for the weekend, but see if you can go out. It sounds like Dave McKenzie in Eastern Canada, of all places, is out making a pile of money. We know Dave, I'm going to Dave up and open you up, where you give a little insight into culture in Eastern Canada. We're a little bit skeptical out there, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure. But optimistic type people.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and business is growing, population is growing. We have right now 26,000 families moving from Ontario and Quebec in the next 6 months.
Really?
Housing is through the roof.
Wow.
And yeah, so we're looking at good times. But yeah, people are cautious, but a lot of entrepreneurial spirit and that. So
Good.
actually, and to be honest with you, some great government programs for businesses, which really helps. And that, so
Yeah, this government's insane. What
yeah,
province?
and they're giving money to everybody. So I've got businesses that are up 25, 30%. So they get lots of money and they're getting the same, benefits as the people that aren't. Like, it's crazy.
It is. What
They're
province?
giving $400 a person. The Canadian government's giving $400 a person to everybody working from home, which is
Really?
great. Because
I didn't know that. I'll have to go out.
just announced last week. So here's my neighbor who works for the federal government, who hasn't gone to work for 9 months. He's saving, I figure, between gas and parking, driving into his office, $350 a month. And
Sure.
I know that if he needed a new office chair, the government's buying him a new office chair. So
Oh,
then,
yeah.
and then he's getting another $400 bonus for working from home.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, I know.
stupid.
Yep.
And and the same as businesses. Some are suffering, but the businesses that are profitable and doing well are getting the same government benefits. So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm just going to take advantage of it as long as I can.
I got a friend who works for the government here in town, and she was given $1,200 to buy a desk.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Exactly.
look, I'm selling desks. Why don't you take one of my desks here and pay me $1,200, and then we're going to go out and celebrate together.
I'll take you out to the best restaurant in town.
So yeah, this desk also does foot massages.
Yeah. Exactly.
What province are you in?
New Brunswick.
New Brunswick. Okay.
Yeah, and
So-
our COVID's been really low. It's the second
Yeah.
wave's a lot worse. Like we had 27 cases before the last few weeks, and we've had over 100 in the last 2 weeks. So, but it's still pretty good. But there was crazy.
Well, I know there's government's a lot of problems happening here with COVID and the lockdown.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to go and visit friends, and I'm leaving town, like I'm leaving Kelowna, and I got people who go like, no, it's not safe to come over and say goodbye. I'm like, whatever. Yeah, I make new friends somewhere else. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm still out and traveling and that. My kids come over, like, the hell with it. And I'm still running my business. I have a home-based office. I had a customer came here or a prospect came here yesterday, which I closed the deal with. I couldn't go to his office, but he said, well, I could come to yours. I said, sure, come on in, wear your mask in the door, and then take it off when you get in here, because I hate masks. So, anyway,
All
some
right,
people
Dave.
are just overboard. Okay, thanks, Patrick.
Good to hear your voice again. I'll catch up with you guys next week, and wish you guys all the best, and have a great weekend. And I'll be talking to you on Tuesday. All right, bye-bye.